What if I told you that one of the most powerful ways to restore leg strength, especially if you've been feeling slower, weaker, or more tired lately, doesn't come from a gym session or a supplement, but straight from your kitchen? In fact, recent research shows that a single food, when consumed at the right time and in the right combination, can start rejuvenating neuromuscular function in as little as 12 hours. Let's start with a compelling discovery published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2023. By the very next morning, individuals over the age of 50 who had eaten a specific nutrient-dense meal in the evening showed measurable improvements in both muscle protein synthesis and mitochondrial function. These are the biological powerhouses responsible for energy restoration and strength, especially in your legs, which are often the first area to show signs of decline as we age. This goes beyond mobility or appearance. It's about your independence, your confidence, and your long-term vitality. When leg strength fades, everything changes. Climbing stairs becomes harder. Balance suffers. Energy drains away. Most people assume this is simply part of aging. But here's the truth. Age itself isn't the main culprit behind muscle decline. The real causes are chronic undernourishment at the cellular level, persistent low-grade inflammation, and disrupted circadian rhythms. It's not your age, it's your biology. What you eat, when you eat, and how it interacts with your nervous system and muscles is crucial. In this episode, we'll explore the neurobiology and physiology behind one readily available food that, when used strategically, can significantly enhance leg function. You'll learn how this food's components supercharge overnight neuromuscular repair, how it boosts mitochondrial efficiency, the engines in your muscle cells, and how amino acid signaling helps restore muscle density. We'll also look at the impact of your circadian rhythm on how effectively this food works, and walk through a practical, step-by-step approach you can start using today. This isn't hype, it's grounded science. And remember, with the right approach, your body can recover far more quickly than you might think. Let's get into it. For decades, it was believed that age-related muscle loss was primarily due to atrophy, the shrinking of muscle fibers caused by inactivity or hormonal changes. But neuroscience is now offering a different, more encouraging, and far more actionable perspective. Here's what new research is revealing. The muscle you think you've lost might not actually be gone, it's just disconnected. Studies show that motor neurons, which link your brain and spinal cord to your muscles, especially in your legs, begin to deteriorate or lose their function as early as your 40s. This disrupts the electrical signals that tell your muscles to contract. The muscle is still there, it's just not receiving instructions. A groundbreaking study from the University of Calgary found that adults experiencing a decline in leg strength still retained the structural potential for muscle activity. The problem wasn't muscle death, but a breakdown in neuromuscular communication. Which means, it can be reactivated. Ever feel unsteady getting up from a chair for no clear reason? Do your legs tire faster than before, even though your routine hasn't changed? That's not just aging, it's a disruption in neural connectivity. The good news? It can be fixed. The spinal cord plays a critical role here. It's not just a movement relay, it requires constant nutritional support to maintain its ability to transmit signals. Think of your leg muscles as skilled workers and your nervous system as the foreman directing them via megaphone. If the megaphone's battery is low, communication suffers. But recharge the battery, and the team gets back to work. One of the fastest ways to do this is by supplying the neuromuscular junction, the point where nerves and muscles meet, with the key nutrients that restore signal transmission. Just a few hours after consuming the right amino acids, B vitamins, and acetylcholine precursors, this connection can begin to improve. The food we're focusing on delivers exactly that. It's not just high in protein, it contains the specific nutrients needed by your nervous system to rebuild communication lines. That means eating this food doesn't just nourish your muscles, it reactivates them. Before focusing on building more muscle, it's critical to assess whether your nervous system is properly utilizing the muscle you already have. When it comes to leg weakness, the quality of neural signaling often matters more than muscle quantity. Now, let's take a closer look at leucine, one of the most vital amino acids for jump-starting this process, and how it acts as a molecular on switch for strength. But before we go deeper, if this new lens is helping you see your body differently, consider subscribing. This channel is all about turning scientific knowledge into actionable power. After you eat, there's a brief window where your body searches for cues, not just calories, but molecular signals that tell it what to do next. Leucine is one of the most powerful of these signals. Leucine is an essential amino acid, meaning your body can't produce it and must get it from food. But its role extends far beyond basic nutrition. In scientific terms, leucine is known as an anabolic trigger. It signals your cells to grow and repair. Here's what the research shows. Leucine directly activates a cellular pathway called mTOR, short for mammalian target of rapamycin. mTOR is the control tower that regulates muscle protein synthesis. If mTOR is the switch that turns on your body's ability to build or repair muscle, leucine is the finger that flips it. Even in older adults, a single leucine-rich meal can significantly increase mTOR activity and stimulate muscle protein synthesis, as shown in a 2011 study published in the Journal of Nutrition. This is crucial because, as we age, our muscles become more resistant to these growth signals. Yet leucine can break through that resistance. It's one of the few nutrients proven to do so, even after a single protein-rich meal. Have you ever felt tired or weak in your legs? The issue may not be the quantity of protein you're eating, but the quality of leucine and the timing of intake. Many older adults consume just enough protein to prevent muscle loss, but not enough leucine to promote muscle growth. That's why both the timing and source of protein are crucial. The solution is simple. Ensure your first main meal includes a leucine-rich food source. Some of the best leucine sources are animal proteins like eggs, beef, poultry, and especially whey protein. To trigger the mTOR pathway and start muscle repair, you only need about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, which you can get from 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein. For a quicker option, whey protein isolate is one of the best choices. It offers leucine and other essential amino acids in ideal ratios. This is why athletes and healthcare providers working with older adults often recommend it for rapid muscle recovery. But it's not just about rebuilding, it's about re-establishing connections, because there's more occurring between your brain and muscles than just growth. When you consume leucine-rich protein, you help restore communication. A biochemical conversation between your nervous system and muscle fibers is reignited through your active effort. And the sooner this conversation resumes, the sooner your legs can feel strong, stable, and energized again. Next, we'll discuss acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter that directly signals your muscles to move, and the specific food that replenishes it faster than most supplements. If this information has been helpful, consider liking the video. Doing so helps us bring evidence-based strength strategies to more people who need them and lets the algorithm know this content matters. Whenever you decide to move, stand, walk, or rise from a chair, a signal is sent from your brain. But that signal doesn't reach your muscles directly. Instead, it's converted into acetylcholine, a protein-based chemical messenger. Acetylcholine facilitates neuromuscular transmission, the process that turns brain signals into physical movement. Without enough acetylcholine, your muscles won't respond properly. They may misfire or not respond at all. This becomes more important with age. Both acetylcholine production and receptor sensitivity decline over time, especially in the motor neurons that control the legs. That's one reason why balance issues and slow muscular response become more frequent in later years. But here's where the science gets intriguing. Research shows that choline, the precursor to acetylcholine, can quickly restore this communication. A 2012 review in Nutrients highlighted that boosting dietary choline could increase acetylcholine production within 6 to 12 hours, especially when the brain demands motor coordination. So what food delivers this benefit? Eggs. Specifically, the yolks are the richest natural source of choline. Just 2 whole eggs can provide over 300 milligrams of choline, which is converted into acetylcholine and helps rebuild the motor control pathway. This isn't just a nutritional fact, it's a working protocol. If you experience tremors, instability, reduced strength, or find your legs slow to react, try this simple morning approach. Eat 2 whole eggs about 30 minutes after waking, ideally paired with a leucine-rich protein like whey or cottage cheese. Why? Because acetylcholine production is naturally lower after sleep. Morning is when motor neurons are most responsive to nutrients, and this is when your body most needs the raw materials to regain neuromuscular control. Have you ever noticed you feel more steady on your feet after a protein-rich breakfast? That's not your imagination. It's your central nervous system functioning more precisely. Choline isn't just for muscle, it also strengthens the communication line between your brain and legs. If you don't eat eggs or follow a plant-based diet, other choline sources include quinoa, Brussels sprouts, and soybeans. However, egg yolks offer the highest bioavailability, meaning your body absorbs and uses them more effectively. It's also important to note that acetylcholine doesn't only control muscle, it's vital for memory, learning, and focus. So when you restore acetylcholine levels, you're improving both your muscle function and mental sharpness, offering a double benefit as you age. In the next part, we'll examine another key factor: how blood flow impacts leg strength. We'll also reveal a food that enhances circulation so effectively that it's being explored as a natural remedy for vascular dementia and fatigue. If you're committed to restoring your strength and mental clarity, please hit the subscribe button. We're just getting started, and each part adds another practical tool for your daily life. Imagine trying to water a garden with a kinked hose. It doesn't matter how rich the soil is or how much sun there is, the plants won't thrive. This is exactly what happens inside your leg muscles. As we age, the arteries and capillaries supplying the lower limbs often become narrower and less responsive. This reduced circulation not only limits blood flow but also hampers oxygen delivery, nutrient transport, and waste removal, 3 essentials for muscle performance and recovery. The result: leg discomfort marked by heaviness, fatigue, or delayed response. Even with adequate protein and regular exercise, poor circulation can quietly drain your strength. Nitric oxide, or NO, is the key molecule that regulates blood vessel dilation in your endothelial cells, which line your blood vessels. It's a naturally produced gas that signals your vessels to widen, allowing increased blood flow. Beets are among the most powerful natural enhancers, and it's fascinating to realize that nitric oxide production is highly dependent on your dietary choices. Raw beets or beetroot juice are rich in dietary nitrates, which the body converts into nitric oxide. A 2015 study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology revealed that older adults who consumed beetroot juice experienced a notable increase in leg muscle strength within hours. The improvement was especially evident in fast-twitch muscle fibers, which play a vital role in balance and fall prevention. In real-world movement assessments, even slight improvements matter. The benefits showed up clearly in walking speed, chair stand tests, and stair climbing. Here's a practical strategy. About 90 minutes prior to exercise, consume 1 to 2 medium beets or drink 250 to 300 milliliters of beet juice. This gives the nitrates time to convert into nitric oxide, aiding vasodilation. Want to enhance the effect? Pair it with 20 minutes of light physical activity like walking, gentle cycling, or dynamic stretching. Physical movement further stimulates nitric oxide production, especially when your body is already loaded with dietary nitrates. Think of it as turning up the pressure while priming the hose. Although beets contain some sugar, their moderate glycemic load and performance-enhancing effect outweigh any temporary glucose spike when taken pre-exercise. If sugar content is a concern, consider pairing them with a protein source or fiber-rich greens. If this information benefits you, consider subscribing. We don't overwhelm you. We focus on evidence-backed strategies to empower your health. Each video is designed to provide you with actionable science. You can start applying this today to feel stronger, more alert, and in better control of your body. Next, we'll explore inflammation, an often misunderstood contributor to muscle decline, and how a specific food group can extinguish the slow-burning fire silently weakening your legs. Though you may not sense it, it lingers like a subtle hum in the background. This is chronic inflammation. Unlike acute inflammation that arises from injury and is visible, chronic inflammation is hidden and systemic. Over time, it steadily reduces muscle function, especially in the legs. Research shows that even low levels of ongoing inflammation can impair muscle regeneration, strength, and coordination. A 2020 study published in the Journals of Gerontology found that elevated inflammatory markers, namely C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6, IL-6, were strongly linked to lower muscle mass and strength in older adults, regardless of their diet or activity levels. What happens internally when this occurs? Inflammation disrupts mitochondrial performance, the engines powering your muscle contractions, by increasing oxidative stress and interfering with muscle protein synthesis. It also weakens the nervous system's ability to activate muscle fibers effectively, meaning the muscles may be there, but the signal to use them is diminished. Now for the surprising part. One of the best tools for fighting chronic inflammation isn't found in a supplement bottle. It's in your produce drawer. Dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, arugula, chard, and mustard greens are not only nutrient-dense, but also highly anti-inflammatory. They're rich in polyphenol, chlorophyll, magnesium, and natural nitrates, all of which help down-regulate inflammation. Specifically, quercetin, a polyphenol present in kale and mustard greens, has been shown to block inflammatory cytokines such as IL-6 and TNF-alpha. A 2019 study in Frontiers in Pharmacology found that daily intake of quercetin-rich foods can reduce inflammation markers in just 2 to 4 weeks, especially when paired with moderate exercise. Incorporating 1 cup of dark leafy greens into your first meal is a simple, science-supported practice. Why the first meal? Because it helps regulate inflammation throughout your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs immune and hormonal functions. To boost the absorption of fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin K and beta-carotene, combine your greens with a healthy fat such as olive oil or avocado. You can also enhance digestion and nutrient uptake by adding a splash of lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. It's important to understand that these foods don't act like painkillers. You may experience reduced discomfort, faster recovery, improved energy, and increased leg vitality over a period of 10 to 14 days, but not instantly. This is where nutrition evolves from being mere fuel to a powerful signal that tells your immune system it's safe, and it can calm down. In the next section, we'll dive into a critical but often ignored factor: how the timing of your meals can either accelerate or hinder muscle repair and leg strength restoration, especially as you age. What you eat is only part of the equation. When you eat, it plays a key role too. Here's why: every time you consume protein, your body initiates a process called muscle protein synthesis, MPS. This process allows your body to repair damaged muscle and build new tissue. In essence, it signals your body to grow. The challenge, however, is that as we age, this signal weakens due to a phenomenon known as anabolic resistance, where your muscles become less responsive to dietary protein. This means your body may not effectively use the protein you eat to rebuild muscle. Even if your total protein intake is sufficient, what's the solution? Research shows that preserving and building muscle, especially in the legs and lower body, can be significantly improved by evenly spreading protein intake across the day, starting with breakfast. A 2014 study by the University of Texas found that individuals who consumed roughly equal protein amounts at breakfast, lunch, and dinner had 25% higher rates of muscle protein synthesis compared to those who consumed most of their protein at dinner. Why is that? Because each meal acted as a separate trigger for muscle growth, keeping the signal strong throughout the day. Additionally, eating within 30 to 60 minutes of light exercise or walking enhances this effect, especially in older adults. This is the time when muscle cells are most responsive to nutrients and quickly absorb amino acids to rebuild muscle tissue, a period known as the anabolic window. This is a clear, practical strategy. Step 1. Make sure your first meal of the day contains at least 30 grams of quality protein. This could look like a cup of Greek yogurt with hemp seeds and berries, or 3 eggs with sautéed spinach and lentils. Step 2. Within 1 hour after any form of physical activity, whether it's a walk, a stretch session, or some light resistance work, have a meal or snack that includes protein and complex carbs. This could be a smoothie with protein powder and banana, or a bowl of quinoa, beans, and olive oil. Carbohydrates stimulate insulin, which enhances nutrient delivery, aiding the transport of amino acids into muscle cells more effectively. Step 3. Avoid consuming excessive protein at dinner. Research shows that muscles can only synthesize a limited amount of protein at one time, typically between 30 and 40 grams. The excess is either stored or burned for energy. By optimizing your meal timing and protein distribution, you're not just feeding your muscles, you're communicating with them. You're sending the message that your body should stay strong, mobile, and vibrant. That's the essential takeaway. Muscle doesn't just move you, it acts as a metabolic organ that protects your vitality. Now, let's bring everything together, from the key role nitric oxide plays to the influence of nutrient timing, and give you a simple, empowering summary, along with one immediate step you can take to transform your leg strength, energy, and overall health. If you've made it this far, you've already completed the most important step: becoming informed. You now understand that rebuilding leg strength, even in as little as 12 hours, is absolutely possible. This is a physiological reality. When you understand how to work with your body's natural systems instead of against them. Here's a quick recap of the 6 evidence-based principles we've covered. First, nitric oxide is the molecule that drives blood flow to your legs, delivering oxygen, nutrients, and energy to where they're needed most. Without it, muscles stagnate. Beetroot, especially in concentrated powder form, is one of the most powerful natural nitric oxide boosters. It can create real, measurable improvements in leg blood flow and function in just hours. Second, your endothelium, the lining of your blood vessels, is key to muscle oxygenation. Foods high in nitrates, antioxidants, and polyphenol can literally reboot this system. Third, fast-twitch muscle fibers in your legs are vulnerable to aging, but they're also highly responsive to better blood flow, nutrition, and nervous system activation. Thanks to the gut-muscle axis, what you eat affects not only digestion but also how your brain and muscles communicate. Beetroot's effects on gut microbes play a central role here. Fourth, the timing of your meals, especially when aligned with physical activity, helps overcome anabolic resistance and keeps your muscle-building mechanisms active. What ties all of this together is your body's built-in capacity to adapt and regenerate. The key is giving it the right input at the right time, in the right amount. Here's your next step: simple, direct, and highly effective. Starting tomorrow morning, have a smoothie that includes beetroot. Add a protein source like Greek yogurt or a plant-based alternative, and then take a 15-minute walk right after drinking it. This primes your blood vessels, triggers nitric oxide release, and jumpstarts muscle signaling. Then, within 30 to 60 minutes, eat a protein-rich breakfast. The science is clear. Even small changes like one nutrient, a brief walk, or a well-timed meal can rapidly improve how your body feels and functions, especially in your legs, which reflect both your mobility and your metabolic health. This isn't just about stronger legs. It's about momentum. As you apply these strategies consistently, you'll start to notice something subtle but powerful. You won't just feel stronger in your legs. You'll feel more capable, more energized, more balanced, and more like yourself. Now try this routine and see what changes. If this video helped shift how you view your body and your potential, please like, comment, and subscribe. This community is here to help you thrive, not just survive, using evidence-based tools for your body, mind, and life. Thanks for watching.